Hello.
Hello.
I was waiting a second because I'm like, I need to make sure that mute thing is not crossed out because there's been a problem before, as you know. Hello. Welcome to our game of Symbaroum, Light and Shadows. I am the game master, Aloysius, and I'm here with my wonderful players who... It's been a minute since we've done this, but we are back.
We are back.
So I will have everyone go around and reintroduce themselves and their characters and what the shtick is. We'll start with Jeffrey.
Well, hello again, everybody. I am Jeffrey, and I'm playing Craven de Lanro, a young youth who is a changeling and originally was on the path to be a Templar of Pelos in Yendaros, but eventually fled when their true nature was revealed and found refuge amongst the Godinia. I am somewhat of a shifting personality, if you will.
All right,
well, hey.
and go ahead.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I figured I would.
Go ahead. Yeah, no, you took the initiative. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, this is Tom, aka Bolthra. I am playing Willow Grimsbane. She is a barbarian witch, which is not an insult to her. And she is a healer. She hasn't healed anybody yet, but I have a feeling that time is coming. And I'd like to announce my dodge now. So.
Okay, getting ahead of the game, literally.
All right. Well, I'm Q. I'll be playing Ponder, the ogre scholar. He's out here in the woods looking for weeds because he needs the money to hopefully one day open his own school dedicated to studying all the mysteries of the Dark Forest. Yeah, that pretty much covers it. And you have my axe.
Indeed. Well, last we left our band of would-be adventurers, they had previously been dragged down into a tunnel by some living thorns and wandered around various tunnel systems before coming across a sorcerer by the name of Grendel, who appears to not be all there in the head, but they also discovered that he is one of the members of the previous adventuring party who was hired by the same patrons that hired them. And clearly it did not work out very well for his band of adventurers. And we're after a bit of struggle, he eventually was able to teleport all of you out of the tunnel system and above ground, where you found yourselves somewhere in Dark Davokar. You do not have a solid grasp of exactly where you are, just that you're somewhere in the deeper parts of the forest. And you had recently set up camp for the evening, where one of you spotted a handful of humanoid spider-like creatures off in the distance, and one is now charging at your campsite.
Okay.
Talk about cliffhangers.
Yeah.
I want to finally use my beast lore skill.
All right.
Figure out what the heck this thing is.
All right.
It's a cunning test. All right.
All right. We will do this in the briefest of moments.
Right.
While yes, it is. While
I rolled a 1. That's good in this game, right?
that is very good.
Okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
All
My
right.
cunning's 15, so it was pretty good. Yeah. Okay. So GM, describe the monster and its statistics.
All right. The monster and its statistics. So these are creatures called Arax. They are
Oh no.
There's
and I read
waters
off it.
happening.
Okay, you froze up there. So Arax.
Arax. They are humanoid spider-like creatures that come in a few different forms. And when I read off statistics, do I read off its just like its stats? Is that how the ability works?
I mean, literally the power says the GM describes the monster in its statistics. So if you feel creative enough to give it in world terms, that's great. If not, I'll take it in game terms.
I would love to be able to describe it in lore terms, but I do not feel comfortable doing that off the top of my head.
Right.
So it has an accurate of 7, cunning of 10, discreet of 15,
Oof.
persuasive of 5, quick of 13, resolute of 9, strong of 11, and vigilant of 10.
Okay, nothing too terrible.
And the other variety has an accurate of 5, a cunning of 10, a discreet of 9, a persuasive of 15, a quick of 11, a resolute of 13, a strong of 10, and a vigilant of 7.
Okay, so basically they're quick and moderately strong.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to remember. They don't like have any sort of special powers like spitting webs at people or anything like that.
Well, now that you mention it,
Thanks. That's like asking the teacher. We
The
didn't get any
important
homework.
stuff, you know, how are they going to kill us?
yeah, I'll say now that you mention it, most of the time, yeah, all varieties of Iraq are known for their horrible bites, but some are known on occasion to spit venom at their prey.
Hmm.
Groovy.
Okay. Well, then I will shout out, I think these are Orax. Oh, no, sorry. I think these are Orax. Oh, don't let them bite you and cover your eyes. They might spit venom.
How am I supposed to swing at it if I can't see it?
I've also heard that they shoot webs out of their butts, so watch out.
Oh boy.
Is their name Webweaver? So
And the one that is quickly advancing, it seems that there are 2 more sort of like in the background that seem to sort of like fade off into the darkness. But there is one that is advancing towards you. This one is a bit more spider-like than humanoid. It's sort of like a Drider situation in a way, but if both parts were a spider.
okay.
Okay.
So
I feel so much
bottom
better.
half normal spider, top half humanoid centaur spider deal.
Let's see, I forget. Did we do some sort of initiative?
I think you are quick. I think.
Yes, it is based off of your quick as to what order people go in.
I'm at 10.
13.
7.
All right, so the Arak and the Arak and Kriven go at the same time.
Okay. Kriven's gonna draw their dual blades. This thing is gonna be on us in seconds, right?
Yes, it is quickly advancing, so you basically have just a few moments to prepare to deal with this situation.
All right. It's not dual blades. I've got a falx and a rondelle, so a single-handed weapon and a dagger.
Yep.
So both of those come out. And as it approaches, I'm just gonna close the distance and go in for a twin attack,
All right.
if I may.
You may indeed. Okay, so make a accurate check at a -3.
Okay. There we go. Need a little more light in here. It's so dark because we're playing Symbaroum.
Yeah,
Um.
and we're in dark Davacar right now.
Spooky.
All right. So -3 to act. So I rolled a 10. Is it meets it beats it still? 13
What
minus
is
3 is 10.
what is your accurate?
My accurate is a 13.
A 13. Okay, then yes, it succeeds.
Okay.
Right, the minus is to the target number, not the roll.
Oh. Okay.
That makes
So,
sense.
so you rolled a 10.
I rolled a 10, and
All right.
yeah. Okay.
All right, then you still succeed because you got right on the money.
Yay. Whew. All right. I almost embarrassed myself. All right. So I can make 2 attacks, dealing 1d8 and 1d6. The enemy must defend itself separately. Oh, enemy defends itself separately against the attacks. Great. So for the one-handed weapon, the Falx, that's a 7.
That's a 7. Okay. You catch this thing off guard with how quickly you advance upon it and just slash it at it, and you manage to actually cut off its sort of like front 2 legs, which causes it to stumble forward and become prone.
That's perfect because it's basically a reverse scythe of a sword. So then, letting the momentum carry through, Criven will whip around and then stab with the spiked dagger for 3 damage.
All right. Okay, so you slice off its legs and then quickly whip back around and plunge your dagger into the creature, and it lets out a horrible screech of pain as it begins madly sort of like clicking its mandibles together. It is quite hurt, but it does appear to still be holding on.
Okay. So I think I'd like to, if I've cut off some of its appendages, I think I'd like to back up away from it and prepare for, just get a little bit of distance and prepare for what else is ready.
All right. It's not really in a position to retaliate, so you feel like you can safely back away from it without issue.
Okay. And I'll kind of circle up and stay close to the group and start keeping an eye on where we saw the others peel off into the woods.
All right, sounds good. Okay. Well, since you were doing that, how about you quickly make me a vigilant test at a +1.
Oh shoot! I actually rolled well. So my vigilant is a 7. A +1 would make that 8. Or no, I add the 1 to my roll. That's right.
Well, yeah, to the target number.
You add the 1 to your base stat number.
Oh, okay. So
And then you want to meet that number when you roll or get lower than it.
Great. Then that is just perfect because I rolled a 7 and its base is 7 on my character sheet, but the 1 + 1 would bump it up to an 8, right?
Yes.
Okay. So yes. Yay.
All right. You sort of like keep an eye out and sort of like flanking the party to your guys' right. You can sort of see one of the other creatures beginning to work their way around the tree and advance towards your party that way.
Eyes out to your right.
I'm on it.
It's turn.
All right. Now, next up is
Creatures.
yes, it is the creatures. So the one creature, now having been spotted by Criven, has lost its element of surprise. The other creature that sort of like is Criven just messed up is going to sort of like try to stand up and sort of like balance itself on its remaining legs, and it is going to stumble forward and take a bite, a retaliatory bite at Criven. So I need you to make a quick roll at a +3.
Okay, so I succeed.
All right.
I rolled a 15. My base is 13 plus 3 make it 16. Right?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I think I'm back in the hang of it now.
Okay.
Thank you.
All
Yeah.
good. All right. It reaches it for you, but you sort of like quickly move out of the way of its grab as it sort of like stumbles forward and sort of like tries to regain its balance. The one creeping up on all of you that Criven has given it away its position is going to try and run up and also grab the nearest individual, which will be... let me roll for it to see which one it grabs for. It's gonna try and grab Willow. And so, Willow, I need you to make me a quick roll at a -3.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. So let's see. So, got a 9.
Got a 9. What is your quick?
7.
7. Then, unfortunately, that is a failure.
Okay.
You feel this creature quickly grab you and sort of like sink its teeth into your shoulder.
Ah!
As you sort of like feel a sort of like just a flood of venom just through your system, and you take 3 points of damage towards your toughness.
Okay. Find that on here.
Top center of the sheet.
Got it. Okay.
And what is your pain threshold?
3.
3. Okay, so you feel this like massive like rush of venom just course through your body, and you sort of like try and shove the creature off, and in doing so you stumble backwards and you fall prone.
Oh, great. Okay. Just another day at the office.
Yep. And Ponder, you feel from behind something grab you and quickly bite your side.
All right. I knew this was right because it was coming from the right.
And you also feel a rush of venom course into your system, and you also take 3 points of damage towards your toughness.
My pain threshold is 7. So.
All right, then you are good. You're like, it hurts, but you're eating it.
Yeah.
And you sort of just like knock the creature off of you.
Just a question: what does our defense do? then.
Your defense, it makes it more okay. Your defense is it adds various modifiers towards it being hit or
Okay.
yeah. It doesn't like prevent you from taking damage. It's more, well, I guess technically in a way it does, but it doesn't like reduce the damage that you take. It just makes
Okay.
it harder for you to get hit.
Okay.
And what about the protection from armor?
The protection from armor, various armors have like different abilities and like attributes and stuff, and so some of those can help sort of like reduce things in certain aspects or give you like
Right.
bonuses towards certain things.
Yeah. So, for example, my studded leather has a protection value of 1d4.
All right. Well, then in that case, I believe you roll that amount, and that can potentially reduce like how much you take, if I remember correctly.
All right.
I'm not an expert, and I have
No,
not
that's fine.
forgotten.
Yep. It's also impeding -2, which is why my defense is 8, even though my quick is 10. So.
Yeah,
No problem. Just trying to learn the game.
Yeah.
all good. We're all in the same boat. All right. Let's see. Next up should be Sukandero, because so many people have the same or similar quickness in this party. But he is going to quickly draw his blade and take a slash at the. He sort of like quickly decides and sees that Willow's in the need of most immediate assistance, so he rushes forward and takes a swing with his sword at the one that attacked her, and manages to sort of like wedge the sword in the sternum of the creature, and then sort of like quickly pull it out and back away with a little bit of a flourish. And the creature seems to be badly damaged, but it is still holding on. And next up, I believe... Okay, which one of you two? Okay, which one? Yeah, which one of you had the higher quickness?
I'm at 10.
That'd be me at 13.
And Willow's
Okay,
at-
well, Kriven's already gone for this bout of combat.
well,
But so
Willow's
between...
at 7. So.
Okay, so then Ponder, you're up next.
All right, so I will. Well, I was getting ready to go to the one that Kriven mentioned was coming in on the right, but apparently it got me already. So I'm just going to spin around and take an attack with my axe and see if I can push back the one that just attacked me and do it some damage.
All right, then make me an accurate check at a -1.
-1, okay. And I have Iron Fist, so I actually get to use my strong.
All right, then
accurate, and
then give me a
success.
strong.
11
All right.
over 13.
All right, then roll that
Right,
damage.
yeah, roll the damage. D8 for the axe. 4.
4. All right, you sort of like feel your axe sink into the creature's side, and it lets out a sort of like screech of pain as it sort of pushes the axe out of it and backs away from you a little bit. Still standing up, still standing upright, but yeah, it took a good chunk out of it.
Guys, they bleed.
We can kill it. So.
All right, and since Grendel is a little bit debilitated at this point, we are just skipping him, and so we go to Willow.
I know she can use her movement to stand up, but she sees Secondaro there, like basically jumping in to help fight.
Yeah, he's basically like right by her side now at this point.
Probably no point in moving anywhere away from him. So I really think she's going to do nothing but just stay low at this point. So, I mean, if there was no one there to defend her, yeah, she's going to try to get the hell out of there, but just
Makes
really
sense,
just
right?
staying low. So,
All right. So sort of just like
Throw
play
some
dead
dirt.
for the time
Throw
being.
some dirt at
yeah.
spiders or something. Yeah.
yeah. So,
All right.
there's
So
axes and swords flying around. Staying low is a better idea.
yeah, lots of whirling blades all over the place.
Yeah. So,
All right. So we will then go sort of like back towards the top of the round, back to Criven because they went first.
Alrighty, so so it's 2 attacks against the same target. Okay, and the one that I've already injured is still in front of me, right?
Yeah, it's still in front of you. It is badly damaged. You feel like it would not take much to finish this one off. And then the one that Sicandero is engaged with is also fairly badly damaged. And the one that Ponder is engaged with seems hurt, but it's still hanging on all right.
Okay. Would these count as humanoid enough to try to shapeshift into one of them?
I would say, like you wouldn't be able to transform into like the sort of like spider centaur looking ones, but the more humanoid ones are considered culture beings. So I would say, yeah, I'd allow it.
Okay. If it was, I'm looking at my shapeshifter ability, and if I try to shapeshift to look like something, there's a 50% chance for attacks to miss me and hit their companion instead. And since it's all kind of close quarters, I'm wondering if this might be a good time to try that.
Oh yeah, worth a shot. Why not?
So
put my axe up your ass.
yeah. So I do have to try to do a resolute test.
Okay.
You got that.
I don't know. Oh wait, I've got my own resolute. So.
Yep.
Okay. It's an 11, and I rolled a 7. Awesome.
All right. You succeed.
So trying to memorize the details while I take one more attack at the already injured Iraq in front of me. I'll attack again.
All right. Accurate -3.
Okay. Shoot. All right, that's a miss. I rolled a 14.
All right. Sort of as you're busy trying to study the like finer details of these creatures, very quick go to sort of finish off the creature that you have so badly wounded, and you sort of just like narrowly pisses off its sort of like chitinous armor, and you unfortunately do not finish it off.
All right. Second attack. Oh, darn it. I got so excited. It's a 20.
That's bad.
That's really bad.
He's so bad he froze up Aloysius.
Yeah. There aren't fumbles in this game, right?
Yeah. Got a complication.
All right. Well, in your haste to sort of like recover after narrowly missing finishing it off, you go to strike at it once more, but it sort of like manages to slide out of the way real quick from where you were going to hit it, and your blade just digs into the dirt.
And Criven's like half transformed at this point.
Yeah, just like arguably more nightmarish than the things that you're actively engaged with.
Yeah. Guys, they really are quick. All right, that'll be it for me. I want to hold the ground to make sure this thing doesn't get around me.
All right. this thing is now going to go in for a lunging grab at you. And so I will need you to make a quick roll at -3.
Okay. -3. Great. So that's a 4. So
All right, easily. Arguably you don't even dodge out of the way. You sort of just like take it and sort of just like redirect its movement. Almost like two dancers engaged, and you're like, no.
So would the 50% chance for attacks to miss me and hit their companion instead apply here?
Sure. Roll me a die, and we'll say on a 10 or lower, it'll hit someone else, and on a 11 or higher, it'll just miss.
Okay. Yes, that's a 6.
All right. You sort of like redirect its movement and sort of like send it towards Sicandero and Willow, and the sort of like your transformation along with the rapid unexpected movement, it sort of like whirls around and lunges at its companion and sinks its fangs into its companion's neck as it lets out a screech of pain that sort of like it begins turning into sort of like gargles as its sort of purplish blood begins to fill its throat.
Yes. Been sitting on that ability the whole game so far. All right. I think that'll be... if it's now with Secondero, I think I want to close to continue the confusion and also to help stand over and be between Willow and the attackers.
All right. Yep, that's fine. The one that just got attacked by its companion is down for the count. It is now slumped over on the ground. And so the third one that is engaged with Ponder is going to try to get at Ponder once more.
Mm-hmm.
And is going to try and bite at you. So I need you to make a quick roll at a -1.
All right. Sure it's not defense instead of quick? I want to make it harder on myself, but just check. Doesn't matter because I rolled an 18.
Okay. Once more, this thing goes and bites you, sort of like on the side of your neck, and you feel another pulse of venom just through your body, and you take 4 damage.
Okay. I'm at half health.
All right.
Bellow out in pain and complain about dizziness.
Yep. Yeah. You're still holding on though. You're tanking that venom as best you can. And after it sort of bites, it'll sort of like shove you off of it, and it sort of like stands there. A bit miraculous that you're still standing after taking the punishment it's given you. Right, and Sicandero will, after seeing the one creature maul its friend, he will sort of just look inquisitively for a moment before just continuing and whirling his blade at the new one. and easily decapitates it, and that one slumps over as well.
Hi, second girl.
That is very disturbing. And so now so 2 down, 1 to go. We are back at Ponder now.
All right. Well, as this guy pulls away from my neck, I'm gonna try to grab him around the neck and then get him in there really good in the ribs with the axe.
All right. Make me a strong at a minus. All right.
Well, I had -1.
-1, yes.
Okay. -2 would have worked too. I got a 12. So. It's a hit.
All right. Roll that damage.
6 damage.
6 damage. All right. You once more in is sort of like close to the area you got it the first time, and it lets out a sort of like screech of pain, and it begins sort of like just like sputtering like mucus and blood and venom out of its mouth as it tries to push away from you and then falls backwards onto its back. It's still moving, but it is now prone.
Right. To Willow.
All right, to Willow.
She would like to use lay on hands on herself first.
All right.
According to this, it is passing a resolute test.
Sounds about right.
Okay. I got a 15, and my skill was a 15.
All right, then you succeed.
All right, so then I 1d6. Okay, I healed 5. I only needed 3, so she should be back.
That goes into temporary HP. That'd be sweet.
Yeah. So she should be back at full health, and I assume that's my only action for the. Because otherwise, she's really not going to move yet because there's still one alive, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say. I mean, you can stand up if you want to, but that's more or less it. Yeah.
Nope,
all
she's
right.
gonna heal Ponder when all the blades stop swinging. So.
All right. So then we are back to Kriven in that case.
All right. So now that 2 are down, I'm gonna go over and help finish off the one that's by Ponder.
All right.
So
it is prone and hanging on by a thread.
So full on man spider just leaping through the air and pouncing on it.
Yeah. And if this thing could express shock and horror, it would, but you don't know if its face is capable of doing that. So make me a accurate at, well, it's prone, so I'll say a +2.
Okay. Cool. So first attack is in 8.
All right.
Second attack is 3.
All right.
All right. So damage 7 and 5. So
Yeah, you just all of you just see this now sort of like humanoid screeching spider person that Kriven is transformed into. just leap through the air and plunge both their blades into this creature's torso as it does not even get a chance to really let out a retaliatory screech as you feel it's sort of like reach up and try and like grab your arms before slumping down.
Kriven twists the like punctures in the dagger a little bit harder and goes, I can do whatever a spider can.
Unfortunately, your joke is lost on the creature as it is now a corpse.
Darn it, I have to work on the timing.
Oh, my. Second arrow, looks like one of them's on our side.
Oh, no, it's just me. Sorry. I'm not used to fighting Vandals.
That's disturbing.
Sorry.
It is a bit disturbing, I will say.
I'll shift back.
Combat is over.
That's even more disturbing.
Yes. Combat is now over.
Willow is going to kind of stand kind of kind of wobbly. And she's going to go over and see if she can heal Ponder. So,
Yeah, I'm
so
gonna
do my
wobble
I got
a
a
little bit.
15
and
again on my
fall
resolute.
down on my butt.
All right.
And I can heal 3 this time. I don't know how often I can do it.
I don't know.
I think it's only 1 attempt per cast. So like you used it once on yourself already.
Mhm.
I'd say you can only use it once on Ponder.
Okay. All right.
And let me double check something real quick. Final Fantasy playing in my head. I don't know why, but it is for some reason.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, well, fair enough.
Item.
Yeah.
Attack.
You've got loot. It's spider mandibles. Let's see.
Hang on, these are just gloves and little things that you push with a button and the web comes out. What the heck?
There's no... these don't come out of their butts at all.
Better living through technology.
Alright, I'll look it up later. It's fine.
It's fine.
Anyway, it's good.
I healed him for 3. We can try it again a little bit.
I'm good. I'm not dying. I got 10 hit points.
Okay.
Or 10 toughness left.
Okay.
He's a beefy boy.
Mm-hmm.
Willow's gonna look around and she's, oh my gods, look at these things. This is probably what's been following us the whole time.
It could be, but these are the creatures that I told you about that I had fought before.
Mm.
And are these the ones that... Well, you made it out all right. But Grendel, are these the creatures that got to the rest of your party?
He sort of like props himself up from the tree that he's leaning against right now and says, I don't think so, but it was hard to tell. But no, I don't think so.
Should we worry about there being more of them out there?
Well, you should certainly worry about there being more of them, but
Well, I mean, like right now.
Oh, at this moment in time, it is more than likely that this was just a scouting party. So hopefully we should be okay, but we should remain vigilant.
All right, then I'll haul these corpses off the ways from the camp so we can try to get a good night's sleep.
Yes, we could also set them up as a warning for any beings to stay away from us.
That would take longer, but I'm down with that.
Yeah. Yeah, leave them at the 4 cardinal directions. But we've only got 3 of them, so, well, maybe put one, okay. North, south, west, how's that?
Well, one of them is bisected, so we could potentially do that.
Yep.
We'll put it in a cruciform.
I've got 2... would these be arms or legs? I'm not sure.
Many years, it'll be good.
I saw it walking on them, so I think it is legs.
I didn't want to assume.
All right, yeah, so let's do that then. I like that idea. We'll set them up in the cardinal directions. Prop them up on some sticks.
Yeah.
Pull up their ass, So.
It's like the Fallout 3 drag mechanic.
Yeah. So So you all take some time.
Yes.
You all take some time doing your best Vlad the Impaler impressions.
I mean, no, probably none of them will show up, but it looks good. So
We'll be able to find this place again.
exactly.
It's like, if by chance we need to be back here, we will find it again.
Years from now, people will be telling tales about their trip into the forest and how they ran across this grisly camp.
What kind of sick bastards do things like that?
Years after that, someone's going to set up a little booth, sell refreshments.
Yeah. Some mad scientist is going to be inspired to do it with the human centipede, but with spiders.
Oh no, the human spider.
It's a spider-pede.
That's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
Never give the GM any ideas.
I would say, although now having played the DLC for Elden Ring, I think I know how that would work logistically.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, you set up the bodies.
Yep.
And Grendel sort of like looks around as far as he can see because it is quite dark at this point. Well, it's very morbid, but it'll certainly get the point across.
I guess basically stay here the rest of the night. There's no point breaking camp and wandering off in the dark.
I'm too tired to move the camp.
I guess we go back to. I think Willow had been on guard duty. I guess so.
I think she had been, yes.
Yeah, so I guess we do our shift again or whatever. I mean, do we have any idea how long it is till dawn? Or
It was second watch when we were attacked, according to my notes.
All right, it was second watch, so then you have one more watch to go through. So a few hours, hypothetically, till morning.
I'll take the last watch, so everybody that took a hit or something could get some rest.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm still feeling a bit woozy from that venom. Is it poison once it gets in your system?
I believe.
I'll look it up when I get home.
I think you would know better than I would.
Ponder, I'll try to heal you a little more in the morning.
Oh, good. Yeah, I don't know how much we if we heal from sleeping, but we're not getting a full night's sleep, so.
I'll say, to my knowledge, you do not, as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong, but that's what we'll rule with for the time being.
No, I seem to remember it being a little bit tougher to heal than just, I'm going to take a nap.
Also, Willow, can you roll me a D4?
Oh, sure.
And we already had your little bless the area enchantment
the
up
witch
already, right?
A 4.
A 4? All right, you take 4 points of temporary corruption.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
that would be due to the venom.
That would be due to the copious amounts you're using your magic currently.
even though she's part of a system.
Yes,
Witch
it will.
I have witchcraft. Witch no longer suffers permanent corruption. Okay, after learning
Yes.
powers. Okay, that's about learning powers. Never mind.
Yes.
Okay.
So this will fade with time. It's not going to stick with you permanently, but
Gotcha.
Unlike when I cast spells, because I'm not part of a tradition.
because you don't have any of the traditional training.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yes, since you are a witch and you were trained to be a witch, this corruption will fade from you in time.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm saying maybe her eyebrows start to grow together. I don't know. So,
Permanent scowl.
Yeah, starts developing a unibrow.
Her and her unibrow are gonna lay down and sleep for the rest of the next couple hours.
Yeah.
All right, so Kriven, you are staying up for last watch.
Yeah,
Wake me up when it's lunchtime.
very well.
Sicandero is also going to go back to sleep, but Grendel is going to stand up and sort of like slowly walk his way over to you to keep you company on final watch.
Oh. Hey,
Hi.
you're not sleepy?
I've been sleepy for a long time, but I think I'm as rested as I'm going to be.
Fair enough.
You were pretty impressive back there.
Thank you. It's one thing that I know how to do well.
The spider person bit was a bit horrifying towards the end, but I can appreciate that.
That's the other thing I can do pretty well.
Shapeshift in general, or turn into a terrifying spider person?
Sure. Take your pick. The spider person's a little new. Don't necessarily know if I'm a fan of how that felt, but... Ugh. It's itchy.
What's it like changing your form like that?
Well, it's a bit like... Have you ever had a scab from a wound? And you want to pick at it, and it kind of hurts, but it also... There's a sense of pleasure and satisfaction to it as well.
Of course.
So it's kind of like picking a giant scab.
Interesting.
But, you know, without the extra mess.
Right.
Yeah. And then, you know, you're somebody else for a bit. And then it feels pretty much normal. I don't know. I'm still new to it, so maybe I'm not doing it just quite right, or there's something else I need to know about it, but do what I can.
Well, you seem to be doing well enough for yourself so far.
Well, let's hope my luck holds for all of us.
Let's hope indeed. All right, Kriven, would you mind giving me a vigilant test?
Sure. And there it goes. That's an 18. I remember
right.
vigilant tests were kind of the bane of all of our existences last season.
Yes.
Yeah. You sort of like take a look around, but at this point it's pretty difficult to see a few feet in front of your face, let alone off in the distance. And
Dead spider. Dead spider. Dead
Mhm.
spider. Dead spider.
And you're not really noticing any sounds that seem off, other than Willow's abnormally loud snoring. I want to get those sinuses checked out, but other than that, your watch seems to go on rather uneventfully.
It is the end of his watch.
Mhm.
Yes, it was very abnormal. There was something going on with that, I guess.
It's ponderous for sure, but
Did.
not nearly as loud as Carl with an H.
That's right.
No,
TTRL.
wherever he is.
Wandering lost in the wood.
If he still lives.
He might be home by now. Who knows?
Just turned around and was like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Free at last.
Mm-hmm. I don't get paid enough for this.
When Willow's up, she's going to. Is Ponder getting up, or is it still asleep?
He's still asleep. Probably will be until you actually shake him awake.
She's gonna come around. Hey, you big lunk. How you feeling?
5 more minutes. Mom. Wait. Ow. Oh, not a crick in my neck. What an awful thing.
I'm not a chiropractor.
Oh, good morning.
So how much does he still have? 4?
Yeah, you still got 4. 4 down.
I like to keep people topped off. So if she uses
14, right? So
if she uses this again, she has a chance of getting more corruption.
right, and we might get hurt later today. So I'm happy if you want to hold off.
Yeah, I think she'll hold off for now. And if there's any kind of natural healing that we can look up, we'll see about that.
I believe you guys had at least a couple like first aid kits or like
there
whatever,
was some
like
potions
whatever.
also.
Yeah.
That we created. So
Oh yeah, I don't think I wrote those down. I do remember you making potions though.
Oh no, I made bandages. I'm sorry. I have 5 bandages. So here, have a bandage.
I'll say,
what do this?
I'll say, with the night's sleep, you lose 2 of your temporary corruption.
Sure. Oh, corruption.
Yeah, because we also don't know if there's other ways to gain corruption.
Yeah.
Other than casting spells too. So.
Yeah. I mean, if you were really in bad shape, I'd do it. But all right, so let me update my bandages. Then I got 4.
Okay.
All right. Well, once the rest of the party is up, I guess the talk now is which way do we go now? I mean, look at Grendel, I guess. So where do you recognize where you are now?
Sort of like takes a look around. Not specifically. I think, and he sort of like holds his head for a second and sort of like looks off. I think there were some old ruins in that direction, which and he's sort of like doing his best to sort of like gauge his surroundings. I think is northeast.
Are we able to see the sun, or is it like a canopy?
It's early in the day, so the light is due to the like extremely dense canopy.
Mm-hmm.
Currently the light is like basically non-existent, at least in the area that you are now.
All right, yes, okay. So we really have no way of gauging direction. So
basically, just between Spider Pile 1 and 4 there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Calling this one north. He has a friendly face.
Oh, is there any moss on trees that we could?
Right?
I don't know what.
Cunning. We can make cunning checks.
Yeah, I don't know if that would be if we can see moss on trees or whatever. And
yeah, why not? What's that? Don't you have like an ability that sort of like helps out with that?
I have bushcraft, but that's about finding food and water.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have anything, but I don't know if anybody else does.
Maybe we could. I mean, that's the closest I think that any of us has to Finding your way in the woods.
I mean, she is supposed to be a tracker or whatever, a scout, you know.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, so
unless
if you
there's
want to like
three
try to like locate moss on a tree, then I'd allow it.
All right. So
Everyone knows that the blood squirrels only poop on
is
the
that
nests.
cunning or
We'll say cunning.
cunning? Okay, I have a 10 in cunning.
Can I assist with that or
I'll allow it.
thing?
I got an 8.
Okay, apparently she doesn't need the help.
I failed on my cunning, so yeah.
All right.
My best score, and I still failed.
So now the player is trying to remember if you see the moss grows on the north side of the trees. Is that what?
It depends on which hemisphere you're in, doesn't it?
You travel to the east for 3 miles.
Does this planet have the same geological equator and okay?
We'll assume for the purposes of this, yes.
I mean,
Okay.
By definition, I mean.
All right, you see, yes, we'll assume that this is a northern hemisphere location.
Are we in Australia? No,
so, as you're looking around, you do manage to find a few trees with a large amount of moss growing on them.
Okay.
And yes, I looked it up. It is in the northern hemisphere. Moss is more likely to grow on the north side of trees.
Because that's the shaded side.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So that's going to help us at least sort of, arrange ourselves and go, okay, so we know this way is facing north. And we had been going northeast, I believe.
Yeah, you'd been going northeast.
Okay. Continue northeast, guys, or...
I mean, unless Grendel knows exactly which way to go, and that's not northeast.
Right. Look back at Grendel.
Which direction did Grendel indicate the ruins were in after we established northeast?
It was like a northeasternly direction where he said that there was where he remembered there being some ruins not too terribly far away
Okay.
in the grand scheme of the forest.
Right.
Okay.
We just keep going. If we hit snow, we know we've probably gone too far, then we'll just swing west a bit and start working our way southwest.
Oh, I hope we have enough supplies.
I can bring up the map again if we need it.
I'm sure that Willow can find us something to eat.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
There's roots, bark tea.
Just don't eat the moss on the trees. So.
Oh,
Do you think that these spider fellas might be edible?
maybe if we cooked one long enough, I'd try it. But
is that something I might know?
they seem a little too people eating.
Oh boy.
I had a mandibles for a second and it made me oddly hungry.
Make me
Spider fingers. So.
make me a. I guess this would also be a cunning check.
I mean, silk pudding's a thing, right?
Right? We can boil them, suck the heads.
Crack the legs open.
Yeah, so I guess this would be a cunning check also.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, what are
know.
crabs if they're not sea spiders?
5.
I don't know
5.
anything about eating these things.
Okay. You gather they are of a more or less humanoid nature. So, they are most likely edible, yes. It just depends on if you're willing to go down that slippery slope or not.
Corruption.
Yeah. So she's gonna tell them. I was like, you can eat them if you want to. They're filled with venom. I wouldn't suggest it.
That's a fair point.
I can
don't know what came
probably
over
find
me.
us something a little less venomy.
Sorry, that was kind of a silly idea.
Not that I am going to advocate for eating them one way or the other, but I'm pretty sure they have venom sacs that could be removed, and thus therefore not an issue if you really wanted to go that route.
We could
she's
really
looking
just
around.
eat limbs, I suppose.
She's like, there might be a rabbit around here. We haven't looked for those yet.
Can we go to
Yeah.
more traditional food?
We've got rations.
I'd sooner eat Carl.
Yeah. Let's quit talking about eating spiders and keep moving.
Creepy. Could have nightmares for weeks.
Sorry.
And as you're sort of just like wandering on, Grendel says, "Who's Carl?"
Oh, Carl. He was our ox. He has
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense as to why you say you would eat him.
We got separated when we found those
lovely
vines.
vines.
Yes, the living thorns.
Somehow he managed to escape.
Oh, so far as we know.
Gods know where he is now. He has all our food. Most of my library.
That is most unfortunate, and I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, we'll get you a nice new library when we get out of here, Ponder.
Yep. That's the fun part. I get to buy new books.
But not in our stomachs.
All
Northeast
right.
it is then.
So, you're gonna start walking northeast. Willow, are you gonna start looking for potential food sources on the way?
Yes. So let's see. So she needs to pass a vigilant roll.
Good thing you're the one looking.
Yep, her vigilance 11, and she got a 5.
All right. You, as you're sort of like keeping an eye out, you do manage to, sort of like catch traces of what appear to be deer or elk tracks.
Oh, nice.
And so you imagine if you were able to track that down, that could be some good game to.
Who has a bow? Anybody?
Oh, I do.
Yeah. Okay,
Cool.
that's what I thought. All right. Well, she's gonna show him the tracks, and if he wants to go off hunting,
I'll give it a try.
Yeah, she'll come along and kind of show him how to follow the tracks. So, although he probably knows this too. So
Not so well. Raised in the city, so I picked up a little bit with the.
they'll kind of crest a small hill, and then looking down, they see.
Yeah, looking down the hill, you sort of like barely off in the distance are able to see a large buck grazing by a tree.
Go get him, killer.
Are they supposed to have 16 legs like that? I'm kidding.
Why are we whispering?
Ponders with the...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I thought they left Ponder behind. Yeah, I'm going with you guys.
Just like we took like a really long circuitous route, and we just wound up like right by the camp again.
Look, kids, Big Ben Parliament. So,
All right, so I'll line up I'll knock an arrow and try to aim for the eye.
all right. Make me an accurate with a +3.
Oof. Made it. It's a 12.
All right. You take aim. Take a deep breath in, And as you release the arrow, and it gracefully soars through the air and hits the buck square in the eye, and it sort of like bucks and stumbles real quickly, but then just collapses onto the ground.
Were you aiming for the eye?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Good shot.
All right. When he's ready, we'll go over and she'll help. They need to take it back to a camp or something to.
Ponder that.
Right, yeah, I can carry it.
Yeah, or set up an impromptu camp to deal with it real quick.
Right, yeah, you want to skin it away from camp, get rid of all the awful entrails.
Well, I can set up a witch circle if we want to be able to stay here for a little bit to clean it up. Let me look up my witch circle. Witch circle 147. I don't know which circle it would be.
Their circle.
Who circle? No, so.
It's more like a witch oval, if anything.
Let's see. That's somebody to find it.
It's kind of a one-dimensional ability.
Doesn't say I have to roll something for it, as far as I know. They're talking about how to find it, but
Oh, so you just...
I would say it should just be a resolute roll, because resolute is usually what you use for like mystical powers.
Yeah.
Rolls.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, ooh, I got a 2. I'm wasting all my good rolls on this shit. So,
I mean, if it keeps us safe.
yeah.
You set up your protective witch circle.
All right. So whoever has the best. I don't think our bushcraft would really help with. We've already found the food. So.
Yeah, so you've already found the food. I don't think it would really help with sort of like skinning and gutting the food.
Yeah.
Oh, I disagree.
Yeah.
That's complete.
That seems like that would be.
If nobody else wants to do it, she'll take out her knife and
I'll
get to work.
I'll help.
I'm not really gonna like make you roll for that, because I think it at least Willow, I think this is something that she would like inherently know how to do.
Yeah, she just knows how to do this stuff. And it's not Dragonbane where you have to roll for this shit. So
you get a stick, you lash its forelegs to the stick, you winch it up into a tree with a rope so it's hanging lengthwise, slice it open, drop out the guts.
Yep.
Be careful when you slice it open, you don't want to cut the intestine.
Yep. All right, so
Criven will assist because he really needs to get better at this. He's started to learn, but a refresher is always good.
Yep. Yeah, so she's just going to show him.
Two of you are off doing that.
Yeah, so she's going to just show Criven kind of how to do it. So.
Pull out your phone, Google how to dress a deer.
Yeah. Yeah. You sort of just like go through all the steps and get it all skinned and gutted, and clean it up as best you can. And now you have the deer that is ready to be sort of, divvied up into however you want to prepare it, and then save the rest.
Probably going to take hours.
Yeah.
To do this.
To butcher the whole thing, yeah.
Yes.
But now once you've skinned it and cleaned out the inside, Ponder can bring it back to camp, and you can do that in comfort if you don't want to sit out there.
Well, we don't really have a camp yet. We kind of wandered away.
Right. We did this. This is while we were wandering. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So this is.
So you could set up an impromptu camp if you would
this
like.
Is just the new camp. So
to do a whole deer, it's going to take us the rest of the day. So we might as well. I'll do that with the other guys. We'll get things set up while you guys are doing the hard part. Because I don't need to make the sausage. I just want to eat it.
All right. Yeah. So that's
Venison.
basically what Willow's doing for the rest of the day. So.
All right, so Willow and Criven are preparing the beast, and Ponder, you, Secondero, and Grendel are sort of just preparing, like getting camp set up and all that while they're dealing with all that.
Yes.
Okay.
Ponder,
wanted to-
Secondero, and
Grendel.
Grendel. Yes. We'll get camp set up while they're doing the thing. We'll be, just out of sight, so we don't have to, and upwind, so we don't have to smell the rotting offal.
Yes.
Unless you guys like to eat offal.
No, it tastes awful.
So I guess really
I don't know.
by
Yes.
dinner time, I mean, when they're starting to cook all this, I'm sorry, I'm just jumping ahead.
All good. No, do
Okay.
it.
Yeah, unless you're gonna-
you.
Yeah.
Ambush us while we're preparing.
No,
Ask
I'm not
Grendel,
going to do that.
So do you think we're closer to these ruins you might have seen?
Well, we've certainly made progress in the right direction. Maybe another day's walk, and we should be there,
All right.
if memory serves me correctly.
Well, before settling down for the evening, she's going to prepare all the leftovers.
Good idea.
Basically whatever they can pack and travel with. They can't really make jerky yet because it's all still wet and gooey. So
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever she can pack up for them to carry with them, she's going to. So.
All right, sounds good. You, there's only I suppose if like each of you sort of like take some of it, then it's a much easier
That's the other thing
deal
is-
to manage.
Yeah.
But since you don't have like your bags or Carl,
Wagon.
then it's it's a much more difficult
We can
to
cut a
manage the whole thing.
sapling, a long sapling or whatever, and just like hang stuff on it, and then Ponder can, carry it over one shoulder.
Hopefully not attract wolves.
Yeah, it can start to dry that way. If we had Carl, we could just hang it the strips on the side of the cart.
It's all Carl's fault. So,
Yeah. It's all Carl's fault. He abandoned you.
Yeah,
good for nothing.
Carl's
Okay.
gonna be the BBEG.
Do we need to go through the whole
He's going to be in the ruins when we get there.
Night's Watch thing, or
We can just skip ahead if you guys want to do that.
yeah, let's just. I mean, unless you had something planned. I mean,
No.
let's just skip ahead to the next
so yeah,
day
we
and
can
just
we can
roll
just
in.
skip ahead to the next day.
Oh, how refreshing!
If this is
I'll
Dragon
say,
Band, you
and-
got to play out every freaking day.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
No.
Nothing.
I'm a lot more loosey goosey with that sort of
Thank you.
thing. I'm like, unless it serves a purpose, then I don't think we need to go through it. But
Right. That's just uneventfully.
yeah, it passes uneventfully because sometimes that just happens. Not every night has something horrible happening.
Sometimes it's the middle of the day.
Exactly. But so next day you guys are just continuing to gain ground, and eventually you guys do manage to sort of like stumble upon a sort of clearing where like as you're going, the trees seem to be getting a bit less and less dense, which also as a result makes it easier to see because more light is being let through. But eventually you make it to a sort of clearing where you see a large stone structure that has begun severely crumbling in places. Like basically like one whole chunk of wall is just like completely like fallen apart and caved in. And it appears to, at a glance, it appears to have been some sort of religious site or holy temple of some kind.
Second arrow is kind of a ranger, or is he?
Yeah, he's kind of like a ranger.
All right, because I would ask him to kind of get his impression of kind of what this place looks like. I mean, besides a crumbling ruin, can you tell what kind of civilization was here? Or...
Let's see.
Well, I do not know particularly for certain because I'm not a historian. However, this was most likely part of the old civilization of Symbaroum.
Okay. I mean,
Oh, fascinating.
In what exact aspect, I cannot say. I leave that to scholars such as yourself, Ponder.
Yeah. That was the next thing. She's gonna look over a Ponder. So,
Right. And Ponder's already off, examining the stones, making notes in his notebook, writing up and down on the margins as tiny as he can because it's his last book.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe do some rubbings on the stone of anything, any sort of carvings or anything like that.
All right. You sort of like as you're going around, sort of like taking notes, and you do a rubbing of like one particular section. The sort of like rubbing that you get on this one particular section looks to be sort of like a double axe that's sort of been like stylized as a sort of rune.
Does it look familiar at all, or does it just look cool?
Make me a I will say a cunning check unless you have something more specific, like a trait or something that helps with a situation like
No,
this.
I got Lore Master, but that's more for artifacts than anything else. Or translating text. And listening to other people talk in other languages. So, but mostly it's just you can use cunning to do something like that. So I think that's what we're going to go with. Oh, exactly what I needed. 15 out of 15.
All right. You at first it doesn't necessarily mean anything to you. You're very intrigued by it because you're like, oh, old ruins. This is one of the exact reasons why I'm out here.
Right.
But eventually it does sort of like click that it does seem reminiscent of something you've come across in your readings. This appears to be, or at least is similar to, a god who is known as the Executioner, who is also sometimes referred to in older names as the Punisher, the Hangman, or simply Death.
or your ex. So.
Yeah. Yes, or your ex.
All right. Any other symbols around, or is it just symbols associated with the execution?
You are sort of like taking a look around, and a lot of the symbols that you're finding are mostly associated with the Executioner. However, you do see a different symbol that appears to be newer and more like less pristine. We should say, like, someone sort of like took their knife and sort of like chiseled it into the stone.
Mm-hmm.
and the symbol sort of looks more like a sort of like a triangle, and it looks like the person was
Incorporator.
it looks like they were sort of like trying to indicate in the carving as best they could that the triangle is made of twigs. Which I'll just like continue this with your previous role, since you've got your minds thinking in the correct direction. That is reminiscent of another deity called the Pathfinder, who is also sometimes
Sorry.
Who is also sometimes known as the Seeker, the Gamekeeper, or the Trapper. And their domain is luck, hunting, and safe travel.
So it's safe to say that it seems like the newer symbol has been carved on by someone who was passing through and was maybe rededicating the site.
Yes, it could certainly be something like that. At the very least, you are pretty certain that this was done by someone else who had passed through here previously for one reason or another.
Interesting. Well, I could stay here for a few days and study this if you guys want to set up camp. This is fascinating. Seems to be an old temple or some other religious site dedicated to the hangman, the Punisher, executioner.
Now, whose pantheon would this be part of? The barbarian tribes, or one of the Fey people, or
the I'd say Ponder and Criven would know this a bit more. Well, okay, I would say Ponder would know this for sure. But as far as like the pantheons of the barbarians and who many believe to be sort of the descendants of the old civilization of Symbaroum, and the Ambrians pre them arriving in the region. There's a lot of overlap between their deities, though, and Criven would especially know this due to their training to become a Templar. Any worship of any deity other than Prios in Ambria is deemed as heresy. So the symbol of the executioner being here is clearly as old as the building, but someone passing through and leaving a symbol of the Pathfinder in Ambrian society would be seen as completely heretical. And most of the barbarian tribes do not sort of like use symbols in that same way to denote their various deities.
Gotcha.
So if it was someone, it would likely be either someone who is Ambrian or someone who, when the Ambrians first came over, split off. Because there are a few settlements here and there throughout the forest of Davakar of the free folk,
Mm-hmm.
who are not a part of, or who do not see themselves as a part of the Ambrian Empire.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, that's not too surprising. We're out in the middle of the woods. So. But still, it's fascinating, and you're going to have to pull Ponder away if you want to leave today.
Willow would like to look around to see if she can find any. What's the hell the name of the thing we're looking for?
Yeah, the
Thistle,
flower.
The Twilight Thistle.
The Twilight Thistle. Yeah. I
We got them
mean,
weeds.
yeah, in around the ruins if possible. So.
All right, sure. Make me a cunning check, vigilant, one or the other.
I'll do vigilant. That's an 11. So I got a 4.
A 4. Okay. Sort of like wandering around, sort of like in and around the ruins themselves, and you're not really seeing anything that matches the description of what you imagine Twilight Thistle would look like, but you do sort of clock that it seems like all of the trees sort of like in the immediate vicinity, like around this temple, are perpetually raining ash from their branches.
Oh, that's bad.
I'm sorry, what?
She will slowly back
It's not
out.
it's not something you had clocked at first, but the fact that it has been going on the entire time, like as you're like actively looking around, you're like, that's a bit bizarre. That is strange.
This isn't just like cottonwood fluff that we kind of look like ash. Yeah.
She's gonna slowly back out.
No. Yeah, no, it's
Man
like
said ash.
no, it's like as soon as it touches your skin, it like smudges and smears like ash.
Ah. And this is, I'm guessing, nothing she's encountered before.
Nope.
She's gonna come back to Ponder and be like, Ponder, can you take a look at these trees?
Right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean,
They're doing something
stone's
unusual.
not going anywhere. Wait, what do you mean the trees are doing something unusual?
Well,
Trees don't really do much.
I was gonna say she's gonna quote Bugs Bunny and say, "Cast your eyes skyward,"
All
and
right.
and
Oh,
point
what's
out
that
the
red
little
line?
bits of
Oh,
ash
oh.
dropping from the trees.
It's snowing. No, that's ash.
No.
Now wait a minute. Okay, this is more interesting than the stones. How can a tree make ash?
We don't smell smoke or anything like that, do we?
You sort of like take a whiff and you're not smelling any smoke.
Okay, so I don't smell anything
Criven.
burning. You know,
Criven, could you climb up the tree, get up near the top, see if you can see if the ash is coming from the sky and not the trees?
I could try, yeah. Hold on. Are the trees taller or are the ruins taller than the trees?
The trees are taller than the ruins.
Okay. If these trees do indeed look scalable,
Yeah, they are extremely large, but you do feel like you could scale from branch to branch and make your way up. And the branches are thick enough that you are confident they would support your weight.
okay. I will attempt to do that.
All right. Make me a we'll say a cunning roll.
Oh dear. Okay.
To find the right branches.
Yeah.
I'll be
I-
standing underneath in case he falls.
Well, that's my dump skill. So I have a 5. I rolled a 17.
Okay. You sort of like climb up to the first branch, and then you're like, "Oh, I can make it," and then you sort of like swing, and you just whiff the next one
not that one.
entirely.
Ah!
And but luckily, Ponder is there to just catch you, so you are all right.
Oh, thanks. I misjudged.
Haven't done much tree climbing as a child.
I mean, I loved it. Just it's kind of a big tree. It's
Willow, try to scale it.
Go for it. I asked
Hunting?
Cricket because he's the smallest of us. Well, technically, maybe Grindle is because he's kind of skinny.
She got a 6.
Yes.
All right.
Hopefully, that's your score's not 5.
No, I have a 10.
All right, you sort of like get up onto that first branch, and you very slowly and meticulously sort of like move your way from branch to branch, because this isn't like some of those like smaller branches and trees during the bright part of Davakar that Kriven was very easily able to like quickly maneuver rather effortlessly. These branches are these branches are large and not the easiest to move between, so you are extremely meticulous when working your way from branch to branch, but you do manage to slowly start scaling your way up this tree.
I kind of feel like we've kind of graduated from like pine trees into like now we're moving into like bigger, older.
I'm picturing
like,
that scene in Lord of the
redwoods.
Rings when they like climbs the tree and
That's
is up
totally what I was
above
thinking.
is up above the trees and can kind of look around. So.
Yeah,
Yeah. These are like massive like redwood type
yeah.
trees.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah, she wants to climb up and see if she can get to the top and maybe see where the ash is coming from.
All right. You slowly work your way up, and it takes you a while to slowly and carefully work your way up this tree. And as you're climbing, you are just getting like coated in this ash.
Yeah.
But eventually you do manage to make it to the top, or at the very least, like as close to the top as you think you're going to get.
Right.
And sort of like peek your head up through the canopy, and you sort of like take a look around, and there is prairie dogging through this tree. There is you do not see any smoke, and it seems to be rather clear skies.
Okay, so there's nothing above that's raining down the ash. It's the trees themselves.
Yes. And you sort of like are sort of scanning around, and if you had to guess, probably for like half a mile radius all around this temple, it seems like the trees are sort of like have that sort of like ashy hue towards the top of them, and then like as it goes further out, it like peters back out into sort of like that more greenish color.
It's something about the ruins. Okay. All right. So so she'll then take her time getting back down, and then when she's down, she's going to report that. And
Okay.
so it's something about the ruins.
Yeah. Anything in my recollection that would tie the executioner to fire or ash or
Curse.
corruption?
Deforestation.
Deforestation.
Smokey the Bear.
I'd say make me another cunning check.
Success.
Success. Okay.
Success.
Nothing is explicitly coming to mind. You do know that the executioner was often worshipped during times of turmoil and war. So that may potentially tie into it, but inherently, the executioner is not really associated with like fire or anything like that.
Okay, interesting.
You know, I'm kind of in a complicated standing with my faith and beliefs right now, but I'm trying to be open-minded, but this place really just rubs me the wrong way.
Seems cursed.
Right? I'm less inclined to want to stay here and explore. Though if someone wants to delve into the temple and maybe see if there's a basement or something.
I mean, we really need to be checking it, or we really need to be checking it for this Twilight Thistle. So, but it seems like there's something cursed here. So,
all right.
So we really shouldn't leave until we've thoroughly checked it.
Okay, I'll join the search for the thistle.
Okay.
You go that way. I'll go this way clockwise, and we'll meet on the other side. Just then circle around the.
How big are these ruins? I mean, like.
It's they're about the size you imagine. Sort of like at their, like height of splendor.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been the size of like a grand cathedral.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, it's gonna take us some time. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a good chunk of like the upper area on one side has since like crumbled and all that, but it's still, a fairly sizable building.
She wants to have Secondero come with her.
All right.
2 sets of eyes. So
yeah, Secondero will join you.
And is there any if there's already 2 groups circling around the left and right of the structure and the ruins, is there any, because one of the walls is caved in, is there any point in somebody going directly down the center and walking into the ruins?
Could be stuff growing in there. Could be spiders.
Yeah.
Like if
that's what I was thinking, is maybe check the outside first before we go in.
Okay.
So.
Then I'll
So why don't you come with me?
I'll go with Ponder, yeah.
Okay.
All right, and Grendel will go with Criven and Ponder.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm thinking, like, if we meet on the other side, then we, go in a little bit, do the same thing, and then just keep.
Is the ash piling up, or is like disintegrating when it's hitting the ground?
No, it seems like it's more or less disintegrating once it hits the ground. Like there's a little like fine layer, but it doesn't seem to be building up more than that.
We're not going to go. Oh, the Twilight Thistle was beneath the ash pile. You didn't look in.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't look beneath the ash pile. Oh, you
exactly. I don't want to. I don't want to.
I knew something about the plant.
What was right there?
Looking for and where it likes to grow.
You get out your snow shovel and begin to look. No,
yeah, it's dry, sandy soil.
And just start scooping up as much ash as you possibly can.
Star thistle, also known as ashwort.
Yeah.
I feel like an asshole.
Okay.
Okay.
You can dig one of those if you need.
Did you try looking through the ash hole?
Really dig in there. Probe around.
Okay. Yeah. So, do we make rolls or something to?
Yeah. Make me vigilant checks.
Vigilant.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
Hello, vigilant, my old friend.
I failed, but
I've
didn't
come
click.
to fail at you again. I've also failed.
I don't know why I look for anything.
Failed. I got a 15.
Secondero also failed.
Okay.
Grendel succeeds.
Hey.
Willow and Secundero, your sort of search seems to sort of like come up in vain, or the very
fruitful, so.
no, it was not very fruitful at all. You don't even know if Twilight Thistle has fruit, but
just made it up.
yeah, nothing is really catching your attention.
Okay.
Priven and Ponder, you don't really notice anything either, but all of a sudden, sort of like as you're walking around, Grendel sort of like stops, and he's sort of like, all of a sudden, sort of like just searching around, like not frantically, but like with like renewed attention. And you see him sort of like walk over to sort of like the crumbled wall of the ruin, and he sort of like puts his ear up to it, and he just like holds it there for a while. Do you hear that?
I try to move over as quietly as possible. Crunch, crunch, crunch.
All right. All right. Both of you sort of like wander over to the part of the wall where he's at and sort of like press your ears up against it. And at first, it's hard to hear, but sort of muffled by just like the amount of stone in the way. You hear what sounds like something very large, sort of like slithering on the other side. And I think that's where we'll stop for
I am so glad you guys talked me out of going inside.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, yeah, we're not going in there yet. We're going to check the outside first. And that's... All right. So last episode, we were worried about spiders. Now we hear slither. So, okay, great.
Yeah, we hear some slithering.
What the hell slithers so loud we can hear it through a stone wall?
Yeah.
Something bad. All right. Well, thank you. That was a
Back
lot
away
of
from
fun.
that.
Yes, thank you.
We will be back next Wednesday with this next episode, and the next the next episode for that tomorrow night we have Werewolf the Apocalypse comes back, season 3, and then Friday night we are back to River City Runs Red.
Yup.
And then Saturday, we're playing some more Fallout.
Oh no!
So,
Nice.
yeah, so we got lots of good stuff coming up this week.
Busy week for me.
Yeah, I was
I'm
going
in
to
all
say,
of those.
yeah, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yep. So we'll see if Aloysius can survive running the gauntlet of 4 games in 4 days. So.
I know. I was thinking about it. I was like, wow, I don't think I've ever done that much before. It's like run,
You're not
play,
running
run,
them all.
play.
Yeah, run, play.
Yep. It's a new record.
So it's like pay attention, not pay attention, pay attention, don't
Yeah.
pay attention.
So it's like, all right, I can zone out and tune back in now. Okay.
Exactly. All right. Well, thanks everybody who's watching the game tonight. Anybody who joined in the stream, we appreciate you watching. Please be sure to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Does anybody have anything they want to plug or mention?
You already mentioned Fallout game for Saturday, so that was my plug.
Okay.
Well, already announced River
Okay.
City Runs Red, so
That's, sorry to steal the thunder. I thought I'd just roll through it.
I mean, might as well.
Clean
Might as well
that way.
just lay the schedule out.
All
I
right.
have my handle at JGillianCart on all the socials.
He does really good art.
He does.
Ask him
It's
to do
very
stuff
good.
for you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. We will go ahead and wrap up for tonight, and we'll see you next week. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Hey.
Bye bye.